Been on Wednesday. In the last 10 years, South Africa reportedly lost 60% of foreign direct investment. But in 2017, a UN body dealing with trade, investment and development issues, the UNCTAD, said that offshore investment channeled into the region's most industrialized economy, and this rebounded by 43% to 38.65 billion rand. Well, this despite issues on the table like land expropriation without compensation and those state capture allegations. Well, since the report, former President Jacob Zuma left and President Cyril Ramaphosa took over. In his maiden State of the Nation address, President Ramaphosa promised to raise just about 1.5 trillion rand in investment. Well, London has chipped in with a good $80 million, and Saudi Arabia committed just over 140 billion rand. Well, during this year's BRICS summit, Chinese Development Bank extended a loan facility to state-owned Eskom of over 450 billion rand too. Well, taking these figures into account, President Ramaphosa is almost halfway through his quest. The president is also urging for internal investment. The private sector is reportedly holding billions of rands in reserves, and this summit may just be the final push. Well, to take this conversation further, we are joined now by Wits University, a senior lecturer and economist, Lumkile Mondi. Very good evening to you, Mr. Mondi. We thank you very much for your time. Essentially, can we look at this summit being the final push for President Cyril Ramaphosa to reach that target?
In fact, President Ramaphosa has really delivered on his inauguration statement at the State of the Nation address, specifically around holding the Job Summit, and then this week we are holding the Investment Summit. And he's raised the money that you've highlighted. So far, so good. However, the biggest challenge, I think, that is facing late this week is really about long-term sustainable foreign direct investment, because we need a flood given our levels of unemployment. And the biggest question is whether with that flood can the economy absorb it, and what is the state's response around ensuring security on the energy side, as well as whether the corruption that we've seen under Zuma can then we get people being prosecuted for the ills that we've seen the past 10 years.
Yeah, with that being said, and those allegations of fraud and corruption doing the rounds for the past couple of years, are factors like the State Capture Commission of Inquiry as well as land expropriation without compensation going to be influencing the investors?
Definitely. Remember, the issue around property rights is well understood that many black South Africans don't have any asset base. So there's really need for us to redistribute land. I think the biggest fear around investors is the capability of the state, because we know for the past 24 years, the ANC government has got wonderful constitution, wonderful policies, but complete and sheer incompetence around effecting service delivery to our people. So the question really amongst people's minds is not so much about the threat of land being taken away. It is the process, and whether, given the embedded corruption that we've seen in our country, that this appropriation of land without compensation won't it end up with politically connected people and the elite that has looted our resources at the expense of education, our falling infrastructure in terms of the health sector, as well as poverty and unemployment of the black people in general.
Yeah, and speaking about the effects and the knock-on effects that consumers are facing, VAT, petrol prices also increasing, is this going to be detrimental to the president's cause?
Well, in fact, that's the issue really, is that we are now paying for the ANC incompetence economically. The fact that the ANC has misused the resources in the past 10 years, we therefore found ourselves that with the destruction of the South African Revenue Services, as we're hearing at the Nigerian Commission, as well as the ongoing investigations by the Zondo Commission, that's the price that we have to carry as the citizens, as business, and broader society. So the fact that we increase that is to try and fill the budget deficit Secondly, the fuel levy as well. So those are a huge burden to the economy at large, and the consumer's disposable income has declined drastically. So therefore, we really hope that this week, the 4 lions that the president had asked, do a wonderful job of hunting, and the president's vision is carried through to next year, so that over time we can then mobilize capability so that the state is well resourced across all areas, from prosecuting authorities, the South African Revenue Service, and we begin a new statecraft around a capable state that can be able then to address the challenges of the country and implement the program of land restitution as well as land redistribution to ensure that the beneficiaries are those that are marginalized and the dispossessed, not the political elite that is continuing to suck the blood out of our economy.
Thank you very much for your time and taking that discussion further. Wits University, a senior lecturer and economist Lumkile Mondi on the Wednesday speech that is coming up and possibly looking around at some of the effects therein. Well, we end this bulletin on a rather stormy note this evening. Authorities are monitoring